I do it all the time. I start making a video, and then all of a sudden, my video bites the dust. Then I have to start all over, but that's okay. It seems like, actually, I wish sometimes I could start life all over. Where in the world? I had my pieces. Okay. Okay, this is what I was doing when my video went to Pootski. I was showing you how I'm doing this. I am enjoying so much doing my practicing of my embroidery. And I have found that while practicing, let me see, is that the one I just used? Yeah. While practicing, I have learned that I like, okay, I've got 5 colors right here. 5 pink colors. I don't know what I did. I had pieces cut already, but they're not cut anymore. Okay, this was number 1, then this was number 2, and then this was number 3, and oh, here they are. Okay, my 5 colors. Let me put these purples over here because I'm done with them. Okay, so I already put color number 1 down here at the bottom. I just put that. See, I first did this one right here. First, I did this petal. That first one, the one that looks kind of done. One that isn't making any kind of... Whoa. Well, as you can see, my professionalism has went out the window. Okay, but anyhow, I've got 5 different colors on this petal right there. But what I drew was 2 petals together, one overlapping the other. That's what I want to, that's what I'm practicing on. And like, I just took a pencil and I drew the shape of the petal. This is how I was shown. Oh, this is too big. But that's sort of the shape of a petal. Not exactly. And then, but, wait a minute. That's real bad. That was real bad. Okay. Okay, sort of like the end of a necktie. But then I was shown, okay, we always start at the big and go to the little. And when you're graduating the colors like that. So then, the lady I'm watching, her name is Trish Burr. She just takes a little pencil line and draws up the middle. And then she's going to take a couple pencil lines and draw in those pencil lines. Like this. So then those pencil lines gives her the direction she wants to go, so she doesn't end up putting her stitches in the wrong direction. Y'all probably know that. It's new to me. Okay, now I'm going to take the second color. Well, I'll go to the lightest. Okay, so I got the lightest one. That's the lightest one. I already did this one. Yeah, that's the lightest one. And then this one, and then I just pull one, and I have found too now that you can pull just one thread out of there like this, and there you go, it's out. One thread. So how come you can't use just a spool of thread? I'll just use a spool of thread and use that thread. I don't know. I don't have answers to that. Now, I'm sorry I haven't been on lately, and I have been a nervous wreck. I'll tell you why I was a nervous wreck. Because my friend Lala Gamaloriwe, she says, I'm calling to tell you that you need to keep your calendar clear for July. No, this is not July. April, is this April? April 27th, between 10:30 and 11 a.m. Because you're going to get a surprise visitor. Surprise visitor. I don't do surprises. I do not do surprises well at all. And so I kept trying to get something out of her. Who is it? What is it? A relative? Is it a friend? Is it a crafter? Who? And she wouldn't tell me. She goes, I'm sworn to secrecy. Just make sure you're home. Well, I absolutely wanted to run away from home is what I wanted, because that's how horrible I do with surprises. I don't like surprises. And so, and she goes, don't worry, you are going to be so excited to see this person. I says, well, is this person going to spend the night? Do I need to cook dinner? I just was asking her so many questions, and she wouldn't answer nothing. She wouldn't answer me to nothing. And so today was and I've known this for about 20 days, I guess. I've known about this surprise visitor coming, and I was getting more nervous and more nervous and more nervous. And when I get nervous, then I eat, and so I probably gained 20 pounds and just kept on keeping on. And, I already started making a little bit of a mistake here. Because what I do now here is I don't put it one stitch right after the other. I put my stitches, see, they're long and short stitches, so I come out through the color that's already there. Just a minute, I'm going to tell you who my surprise visitor was. And so, but see, then I put these stitches in, in different places. Because then when you do that way, then you start filling in the spots. Then everything starts going. And you know how I drew the little, those lines help to keep you getting them stitches in their right order. All right, so last night I couldn't sleep. I just couldn't sleep. I said, who is this coming? I don't know who's coming. Is it, who is this? I just didn't know. And I was asking everybody I know, my family, friends. I said, are you coming to my house tomorrow? Nobody knew anything. So I figured they're all lying, but they didn't know anything. And so I went to sleep at 7 this morning. I finally was so tired I fell asleep. And then my son wakes me up. He says, Mom, you got somebody out here to visit you, and they won't tell me who they are. And I said, oh, my word. By then, my heart's beating, I'm telling you. Well, my heart's supposed to be beating, of course, otherwise I'd be dead. But, and I says, who in the world? Well, so I walked out to the front room. I was dressed because I sleep in a reclining chair, and I did get dressed and just sat in my chair and fell asleep. And so I walked out there to the front room, and I seen somebody on the back porch. Well, I didn't know that person on the back porch. I didn't know her from Adam's house cat. And so I thought, well, and I went out there, and she said, I said, do I know you? And she goes, no, but you know somebody that's in the car. And so I thought, in the car, does that mean it's some cripple, Why is she in the car? And then, so I start walking out to the car, and I'm just walking slow because I can't walk anything faster than slow. And so I'm walking out. Well, then this dog sticks its head out the window and starts barking. No, it wasn't a real dog, but it was a person with a dog mask on, and barking and barking and barking. And I said, who the hell? I didn't know who that was. I'm telling you. And there she is, barking, barking, barking. And then finally, she gets out of the car, still with this mask on, and still barking at me. And I thought, who the heck? And then I realized That's that dog is a poodle. That's a poodle. Does that tell you anything right there? And then once she walks toward me, then I also saw a boot on her foot. Well, I knew then. Stacy Evans, the pink poodle lady who lives in Indy, Illinois. She came to see me, and she's famous. She said, she goes, I told you that if I ever come to Florida, I was going to come see you. Well, of course, I didn't believe that. I don't believe stuff like that. And so, yes, she came to Florida not to see me, but she came to Florida to pick up her niece because her niece is going to go live with her. And they're going to share their house, a house or a church. They're going to share a church. They're going to share a house. But Stacy, you probably know her from Pink Poodle Crafts. If you don't know her from Pink Poodle Crafts, you need to know her. And she was when I first started watching craft videos, Stacy was the first one I watched. And then she's the one that talked me into starting my own channel. And we've talked on the telephone and we've messaged each other, and she's just been my friend for, well, at least, good grief, 15 years, 11 years, so 12 years. Let's go with 12. And oh my word, it was so amazing to see her. So we come on in the house and we just chatted for, she was here about 3 hours, I guess, until they had to leave and go because they have to drive all the way back to Illinois. And I was just so happy to see her. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've been worried for nothing. I was worried. I did not know who was coming, and I was worried for nothing. So now, if anybody else tells me it's gonna be a surprise visit, I won't be worried anymore because I was so excited to see. And like, she's famous. She's got like 17,000 subscribers, and so she's like famous. And she's probably got 1 million of those subscribers from Florida. But who did she come see? She came to see me. That makes me feel so special. I can't tell you how special that made me feel. To see Miss Stacy came to my house. Oh my word. And so I was excited. I didn't want to even see her go. But to know that all the way from Illinois, no, Indiana. You know how my mind is. And now I don't remember if it's Indiana or Illinois. I think it's Illinois, I think. But anyhow, she bought a church for real. And so, but this girl, her dream is to have classes, crafting classes, cooking classes. She wants classes. She wants to teach others what she knows. And she knows so much. She's a crafting guru. And so she already had a beautiful house in Illinois, but she sold it. Maybe it's Indiana. It's one of them I-states. But she sold that house and bought this church. And it's like the rooms are huge. And like the main, it would be a small, it's not like a big cathedral or anything. It's a small church, but it's still very big to make it into a house. And she wants to fix it up to where she can do her classes in there. And I think she's going to do very, very well. And she's one of them kind of women that would make somebody a really good husband. And so, Okay, now I've got those colors in there. You know, I think I'm going to stick with 3 colors on this one because I made those stitches kind of huge. Then I want to take this, and I just slide the threads underneath other threads so there's no knots on this back. I don't want any knots, no knots, no knots. Okay, so now I'm going to take the darkest pink here and pull 1 thread. And I really like using just 1 thread. Now, if you want like a Crewel looking project, then you could use all 6 of the threads and it would look more like a Crewel embroidery. But actually, Crewel, the word Crewel means wool. And so Crewel embroidery, I've learned, is when you embroider with wool floss. Well, I love Crewel. I have learned I love the look of Crewel because it is so, it is very primitive looking, and I like that. And so, but Crewel embroidery floss is very expensive. I've looked at different places and it's very expensive. And so, but you can get the same effect using regular embroidery floss. And then you don't have to even have the expensive. You don't have to have the best. You don't have to have, some people say that DMC is the best. Some say Coates and Clark's. And then there's one other one that they say is best too. Begins with an A. I can't remember what that is. But so I'm thinking, and like I say, I've got some of my floss because I've got it from different places, thrift shops, and people have sent me gifts of floss, and so I got all different brands and some that don't even have a brand, and so it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. When I ordered that floss off of eBay, like I say, it's all not used floss, but it's partially used skeins of floss. And so I look forward to getting that. It's already been shipped off. And then I want to kind of just compare the colors. But I think the DMC has got like over 1,000 colors. I don't know. They've got so many colors. And for doing something like this where you want the graduated colors, well then, I guess if you was like a real professional and you're maybe selling your work or something and you want it to be perfect, well, I ain't selling diddly squat. You know, I'm just doing this for my own fun. And for my own fun. And I just about, now see, I'm looking at this. And now I've got that second petal, but I don't really have it. It doesn't look like this one's under this one. I wonder, because she shows in here somewhere. Let me see if I can find that real quick. She shows how God, there's so much. She has got so, see, like here too, she even shows the colors in the numbers of the DMC. There's a lot to learn in this book. And she explains things so clear. And, okay, let's see if I can just see. And boy, I want to learn this. I want to learn this, and I just want to come up with the most beautiful. Oh, maybe it was in the other book I was looking in. I got another book too of hers. But it's where she was having overlapped petals and how she made it to look shaded. But look at here even. Look how those colors are in there. Isn't that pretty? And so I just want to play with a lot of these and just see what I can come up with and see how she goes from light to dark in the center of the flower petal. And I think all of them are all from lighter to darker. They're so pretty. And so that's what I've been playing with, is just flower petals right now. And I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to continue just playing with that. Yeah, I'm just going to continue playing with that. Oh, God, look at this. If I could make a flower look like that out of just thread, that's beautiful. Just holding these books open. Kind of rough. Well, let's just put it there. I put my tweezer there and my other tweezer. You see how I lose things that fast? Oh, there's another tweezer. Just to hold my book open. But, yes, now, so I wonder if I were to take this darker thread and just go up where them two, if that would make it look shaded. I'll have to find, oh, you know, that might have been on the video that she was showing that, because I watch her video too. But so anyway, but I'm going to keep on. I'm going to just keep on until I can say that I have it right. And you know, if it's not right, that's okay. You know, just till I feel like I've really accomplished something. So I'm going to pull this ring off of here. Pull this hoop off. Because earlier, well, see, once I put that, I put just a line of stitching between the two petals, and now you can see that line is different. So I guess that's what I need to do. Now on these two, I did these two purple ones yesterday, and this one I used a double thread, and this one I used single thread. This was 2 threads of embroidery floss, and this was just 1. And here I only did 3 colors. Oh no, I did 4. No, there's 5 in there too. 1, 2, 3. But see, it blends so smoothly, and probably if I had like the right numbers, like the DMC numbers, it would probably flow even smoother. But that doesn't matter to me. To me, that's just fine, just like that. But see, that's one of the pages from my book. And so, but yeah, I like that. I think putting those 2 petals together, that if you were to make the whole flower around, I think I'll do that. I think I'll draw a flower and do it all the way around, and then see what I can come up with on that. But I'm having fun with this. I'm telling you, I am having so much fun with this that I just don't want to quit. I just love it. And so, and I'm figuring out what needles I like the best to use. And I know I don't want to use them fat needles. The fatter needles, what, like a tapestry or something. those maybe I would use still when I'm doing the using the wool threads. Um, See how quickly I forget those names? Crewel. When I do the crewel, then I would probably still use a larger. Looks like I'm falling off the mountain here. Um, that's I would use. Yeah, I would use a larger needle if I had larger thread. But if you have small thread, if you're only using one strand of thread, then the small needle would be much better. Now this book is white work with color, which white work apparently is when you use just white embroidery floss. And I would assume that it's like maybe different shades of white that you would make. But in here she's got white in a lot of her work, but she's added color to it as well. Let me see here. Read with me. But see now, okay, here now is intermediate. I love the blue and white. I want to do something in blue and white. And see like this heart right there in the center, how it's shaded, and it started at the big side is light and down to the, because she would have started up here and ended down at the point of the heart. Look at the little birds. Those are so cute. Folk art birds. And there's the pattern. And this is so good because she put the lines in there so you know which direction to put the stitches. Oh, I definitely want to do that. It says it's intermediate, but hey, you do the best you can with whatever picture you like. But look at, there is so much. She gives you so much direction. I love that. Be happy 5, be happy. But let me see in this. See, now this is the more simple. But look how beautiful that is. And joyful, that's called. This is just, yeah, I must have saw that overlapping in, or maybe it was here in the more, gosh, this is beautiful stuff. Maybe it was back here somewhere. I love that bug. No, I'm thinking now that she did have it on that video. So I'm going to watch. I have already watched her video like 2 or 3 times. See that butterfly? Is that beautiful or what? Oh, now here she started with the darker color and went to the lighter color on that butterfly's wing. So it's not always that she starts with the light color and goes, but she always starts at the big and goes to the little. Starts at these butterflies. Oh my goodness. Toadstools. Gosh, how beautiful. And so, yeah, it must have been on that video that I saw. I put the link to the video under my last video, but I'm going to put the link to her video again under this one. And apparently it isn't her that put up her video, but her grandson put up the video. But it's a very good video, and it's a 2.5 hour long video. But then you don't have to watch it for 2.5 hours. You watch it for a little bit, and then you pause it, and then watch it a little bit later. And then you drink some coffee. Okay, now, because I haven't seen you in like forever, yesterday was a sad day. I went to a funeral, a memorial service. I don't like that word for funeral anymore. But it was for a girl that was 49 years old. She went to school with my daughter. She was a friend of my daughter's. But her mama, when I was working at the elementary school, her mama was teaching at the elementary school. I was substitute teaching at the elementary school. And also I was like involved in everything in the school. So we were both in the PTA together and all that kind of stuff. I would work in the library. I just hung around there. I didn't leave. And so she was my friend. Mama was my friend. And Meredith was the young lady's name that passed away. She worked for the Pasco County Fire District for 18 years, and then she got hurt on the job. She fell through a floor, a second story floor, and she was injured, and she had to take an early retirement. And so, but then she also wanted her body. She always said, if I die, I want my body to go to science. That was the kind of girl she was. Never married, nothing like that. And so that's what mom and dad did. Mom and dad did not want to let her go. I mean, that girl was on life support for a week. Nope, she was on life support for more than a week. But mama just couldn't unplug her. And like my Jennifer was telling me, she goes, Mom, if I ever get like that, just unplug me. I said, Jennifer, if it was just the same way, if I was Karen and you were Meredith, I don't know how easy it would be just to unplug you. And so, but I hear your wishes. Get it written down on paper. But, but anyhow, so Meredith was on life support, I guess for a couple weeks. But Meredith had breathing problems, and then she caught the flu. Don't know if it was COVID or what, but she caught the flu. But all three, Meredith, her mom and dad, all three had the flu at the same time. Mom and dad got better, Meredith didn't. And so it was her funeral, but they had in the front of the sanctuary there, they had her boots, her whole fire gear, the whole fire gear, like her coat and the way they lay their clothes out when they're on duty, if they have to jump in them, so they can jump right in them and leave. The pants are put over the boots, and the jacket is right there, and then the hat is there. Everything's right there, so they can get dressed in 15 seconds and then be in that truck and gone. And so they had that in front, and then, but then there was also people from the fire department that came, and they had such a nice little. They had a flag that they gave to the parents, and the way they honored them with that flag was just absolutely amazing. And then they put together also the fire department did they did a little, like a slideshow of pictures of her as she was working with the fire department. And then the pastor of that church, it was a Lutheran church we went to, and but the pastor or preacher, minister of the church, he did such a good job. I could not believe the stuff. I was mesmerized by the things he was saying about Meredith, and the things he said about first responders, and he was amazing. And so, although I didn't want to go. In fact, I told my daughter I had the diarrhea, I can't go. And she goes, get in the car, Mom. I know that lie already. But anyway, so I had to go. I was ready just in case she made me go. And she did. And I was glad that I went. And so, because then I was able to get hugs from Karen, the mama and dad. Both mom and dad are retired teachers from our county. And so that was my day yesterday, which 49 years old. Red curly hair and freckles. That was my Meredith. And I remember her more from more from when she was small, when she was still in elementary school, when I worked at that elementary school. And I remember those beautiful freckles, and then she'd run in that curly red hair, long curly red hair, just beautiful. In fact, everybody at the fire department called her Red because of her red hair. I hardly ever see red-headed people anymore. But so anyhow, that was I was able to. I want to go see Karen again. I couldn't really talk to her at the, they had a gathering afterward, but there were so many people there. Many people from school, because both of the parents were teachers, and then a lot of the kids that were in Meredith's class, in her grade, and so which Jennifer, my daughter, was one of them. And so then there was a bunch of kids. They're not kids anymore. They're 50, 49 and 50. But they all went and met at the beach. There's a little restaurant at the beach nearby here, and they went just so they could have almost like a little class reunion. And so that was nice how they did that. So I guess I just like to talk about my family, I guess. And so, but anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and see here what Jesus has to say today on the 27th of April. April, May, March, April. Well, I guess I didn't put my ribbon down in there where it belongs. No wonder I can't find it. April 27th. And here it is. Here it is coming right now. Now I'm reading out of the Jesus Calling, Enjoying Peace in His Presence by Sarah Young. Come to me with empty hands and an open heart, ready to receive abundant blessings. I know the depth and the breadth of your neediness. Your life path has been difficult, draining you of strength. Come to me for nurture. Let me fill you up with my presence, I in you and you in me. My power flows most freely into weak ones aware of their need for me. Faltering steps of dependence are not a lack of faith, they are links to my presence. That's amazing that says that today. And my poor son yesterday, the one that's in Arizona, I had a horrible day, and I kept sending him message after message after message, just pretty much complaining and just being, oh, I don't know. I told him I was going to run away from home and I was never going to come back, and I was joining the Foreign Union. I don't know. But anyhow, I know the depth and the breadth of your neediness. Your life path has been difficult, draining you of strength. And that is me, I'm telling you. And I think it's been a lot of us too. Okay, so in John 17:20 through 23, it says, my prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. I have given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one. I in them and you in me. May they be brought to complete unity, to let the world know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me. And then in Isaiah 40:29 through 31, it says, he gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, and they will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. I wonder if this book tells what version of the Bible that this uses, because that doesn't sound, no, it doesn't say. It says Thomas Nelson right there. I'm not sure. Okay, but anyhow, that was a good reading today. That was a very good reading. And if you're still here, thank you so much for staying with me throughout this whole video. And hopefully You know, Wednesday I was supposed to go live. You know why I didn't? It's because I forgot it was even Wednesday. But so much on my mind lately. Just so much on my mind. Just absolutely so much on my mind. Just sometimes I think we all have that. So my plan is always to go on Wednesdays live stream. Now I've missed 2 Wednesdays in a row. And so, but that doesn't mean I'm going to quit. When it comes Wednesday again, hopefully I'll be alive. Alive, not alive, but live, and be able to talk to you again. And so, because I got some stuff that I need to talk to you about. I don't know if it's important, but I do. And so I ask God to watch over you every step you take, every move you make, keep you safe and secure, keep you happy, healthy, and humble, keep you free from any harm. And by all means, if you are having a rough day, like I've had these days, I even told my son in one of the messages, I don't care if I live or die. That's what I say. No, that's stay one more day. Always stay one more day. Because the way I was feeling yesterday is not how I'm feeling today. And so, not that I would ever offer myself, because I won't, but it was like I was thinking, why? Why am I eating? And it's so, but yes, always stay one more day. Reevaluate tomorrow. God bless and keep you all, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for still being here. And here I go with the off button. There it is.